Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, man, this is a muscle car. The video, the pics, all that stuff, that looks great and whatever. This car pulls into a car show, man, everybody is going to look, everybody wants to talk to you about it, and if that's uncomfortable, then this will not be the car for you. If you're friendly and you like people and you want a cool car, then you will definitely love this car. All right, so this car here, 2 full sheets of options and things on it. We're going to take a walk around and look at it, and we're going to see some things in the video that you can't see in the pictures. All right, so let's start with the paint first, because and you know what, I get a lot of crap online about showing off the paint, but I show off the paint for a reason. Let me even show it to you in the shade. Sometimes you can see it better in the shade, sometimes you can see it better in the sun, but what I like to do is make sure you can read all those words nice and crystal clear, that the letters aren't hard to read. Anyway, so let's move on. I'm so excited about the rest of it. So when they paint a car, you're like, and I talk about it all the time, where you can barely feel the stripes on the car, and that's important. And the reason I say that all the time is because you're going to keep this car, you're going to wash it, you're going to wax it, you're going to love it, right? And if you don't clear coat over these white stripes, they're going to start to tear and get ugly and whatever, you're going to have to repaint those whole things. So the proper way to paint it, and the way this car has been done, it was painted red, right? Then it was wet sanded, then it was painted with the white stripes, then it was wet sanded, then the whole thing was cleared. It takes longer to do that, and it's a lot more expensive to do it that way, but it's the right way. And this way, you get a wonderful, wonderful finish and something that'll last you a really long time. So you say, well, this is a cool car, Tone. So like, how do you determine the price on a car like this? Great question. All right. So this car, first off, is fabulous in red with white stripes. That's probably a determining factor too, because most cars are color sensitive, and so some cars bring more money than others, right? But then throw in new chrome, new headlight bezels, new grille, SS emblems, hood pins, right? Come on back over here, and stuff like this. Power disc brakes, all right? BF Goodrich radial TAs, refinished correct SuperSport wheels, all right? New SS emblems here, trim, door handles. All those things start to add up and make you cringe if you try to do these cars yourself. Now I'd like for us to be able to see the underneath of this car, because the underneath of this car looks wonderful. It's beautifully restored. It looks great. You're not going to spend a lot of time under there, and you're not going to really care about it, but what you're going to care about is it translates into how great it drives. All right? So at the end of the day, I'm getting a little sun shot here, but we're going to take a peek under the hood for a second and see really what you care about, and that's the engine. All right, so come on under here. Wow. All right, so this just came in. We were just finishing up doing a couple little things to it. All right? Air conditioning. Seriously? Air conditioning in a Chevelle? How nice is that? So rare to find that, because these cars were performance cars and people weren't spending the money on air conditioning. All right? Detailed and painted. The correct cowl induction air cleaner. Even little things like the evaporative canister is still here. The manifolds are there the way they're supposed to be. All right? The correct Packard wires. Little detail stuff like this. So we also have the battery and battery topper that'll be on the car as well. But again, the car just came in. We're just kind of finishing up the last thing. Activating solenoid for the flapper hood. You say, well, what's the big deal about that? It has a hood. Well, of course it has the flapper hood on it, which is a big option to begin with. But to take that there costs another $500 by the time you buy the solenoid, do the labor to hook it up, get everything working, functioning. That's every time we're looking at 500, 500, 500. Next thing you know, and you got 25,000 just in who knows what. All right. Okay. So, GM hoses, tower clamps. I want you to go to a car show, open the hood, and people go, "Wow, that's a really nice car." Tower clamps look great. This is decaled up like it's supposed to be detailed. The correct chrome valve covers on there, right? The call out for the 396, 350 horse. Cadmium painted, power brake booster, all right? It's just the details, man. The details are the details, and this is why the car looks so great in pictures and looks even better in the video. All right, so come in here for a second. All right, so we've ordered the jacking instruction decals, a couple more decals for underneath the hood, has a new mat in it. I had this all painted, and I painted a little differently than most people do. Most people splatter paint a trunk and they're done. Well, that isn't enough, because the splatter paint is unprotected. It'd be like not putting clear coat on your car. Eventually, it's going to get chalky and ugly because the clear coat is paint but with no pigment in it, and so it has less chances of fading. The same goes for here. When we paint this trunk, right? Look how beautifully this is done. You can see all the ribs in the trunk. Look how deep everything looks. Just a really, really nice car. But what I'm getting at is that I clear coat them as well. And I clear coat the trunk so that you can go to a car show, and if your cooler leaks or something like that, water gets trapped underneath there, it won't make anything rust, and it looks great for years and years to come. All right? Little stuff like that, man, it makes a big difference. All right, so we have SuperSport tips, SS call out on the rear bumper. And if we come down here for a second, I'd like you to look here. We got the F41 suspension with a sway bar there. Look at all the new bolts that you can see, new gas tank. Everything's not black spray bombed, all right? That's what we're talking about. Black spray bombed undercarriages of cars do not bring the same money as a detailed undercarriage like this. So if you want to go to a car show, you can show off this. It looks really, really nice. All right, so come on in here and spend a little time with me in the cockpit of your muscle car. All right, so you hear a door like that close, you go, wow, that sounds nice, Tom, but so what? You're right, so what? But this 3 or 4 hours tied up, new bushings, clips, adjusting the window, all those good things so that the window rolls up like it's supposed to, rolls down like it's supposed to, pedal trim on the pedals down here, all right? Still waiting on the spring for this, right? I fixed that because I like that to work. This is supposed to have a spring that holds it up in place, all right? The spring on this car was done. Console, buckets, 4-speed shifter, all right? All the nice dash here, 120 mile-an-hour speedometer. This is one cool feature I love about these cars. Remember, this is optional. Not every SuperSport has this. Look at that, man. That is so freaking cool. And then when you shut it off, I love it. This car was restored. It's showing 8,554 miles, 8,554 miles since it was restored, and it looks and feels every bit of it. So, although I'm no expert, I am on Google learning about that right now as we speak. New headliner, new dash pad, new dash itself, 3-spoke wheel. It's just great. So anyway, if it's okay with you, I would like to fire it up for you so you can hear what it'll sound like in your garage. All right, so we have a lot of options on this thing. Let's run over them real quick so we can recap, all right? SuperSport wheels, BFGs. Got the disc brakes on there, which you would have got anyway on an SS. But for instance, we have the real cowl induction hood. Everybody gets a SuperSport hood on these cars, but they don't get this. Air conditioning, another option. 4-speed, another option. Console and buckets, another option, all right? Just on and on and on about how many great things are on this car. That's why this car looks so good, sounds so good, and feels so good, and will feel even better once you own it. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about it.